What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. That means it's time to talk about some sales and marketing stuff. In the month of May, things were busy, and there's a theme to this, and I don't know if you guys pay attention to it, but number one, before we get into number two, which is huge, number one, Salesforce acquires Informatica for $8 billion. What does that mean? Who is Informatica? What are they about? So no different than most big tech companies based out of California, and they're all about data, and they're all about cloud computing, they're all about storage, and they're all about cleanliness of data. So what does this mean for Salesforce? It is going to superpower their AI system. It's going to make their system even better. I personally am not a Salesforce user. We have clients that are Salesforce users. It's a great system for enterprise clients. Not a huge fan of the interface, never really have been. I've been using Salesforce since about 2011. I wouldn't consider myself an expert in it, but I'm pretty dangerous when it comes to Salesforce. But it's a great system for those that have it. And what this means is that you're going to get an uplift of the AI capabilities within Salesforce as this merger acquisition happens. And even if you go to Informatica's site now, even though the deal isn't going to be finalized until I think they're saying like the fiscal year of 27 for Salesforce, it's already been signed. Transfer of money doesn't matter. Go to Informatica's site and it says Salesforce plus Informatica. So they're going to start using this immediately. And that deal was just struck recently. And so again, the theme of this month, as the theme of most months, is talking about artificial intelligence. This subject is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and more companies are going to come out, more companies are going to get acquired. It's all about data, cleanliness, speed, etc. That's what Informatica is all about. So Salesforce is going to take that giant system that they already have and integrate it with their own system, and it's going to mean great things for Salesforce users out there. So be on the lookout for some upgrades and changes probably this year to the Salesforce system of what you can and can't do with AI and what type of integrations you're going to have. It's just going to make it easier and faster. I mean, that's what, ever since ChatGPT came out back in, what was it, like October of 23, everything is like, they kind of set the bar like Google did with search, right? They set the bar of like, these are their search results. We're getting it to you fast, etc. ChatGPT said, oh, we can get you answers to anything quickly. Now everybody's just trying to follow suit and just raise that bar even higher. And that's what's going to happen here. Number two, big announcement. And this just happened 6 days ago. And we had a client this morning message us and say, dude, what does this mean? So Google announced that they're going to start. I mean, they already were kind of talking about this, but they announced 6 days ago at the, what was it? The Go Marketing. Oh my gosh, what was it called? Google Marketing Live 2025 that happened on the 21st. So they are now expanding ads and AI generated search. And this is inevitable to happen. I talked about this a little bit probably a week ago in a post. So you Google search something and you get Gemini's AI overview. And what it basically does is it pulls results from the first, or pulls information from the first couple of results. I did a post last week, typed in a search phrase and said, this is really simple. If you want to show up in the AI overview, just show up first on Google. Because what Google does is they'll pull in the first organic search results, they'll pull in the first image, they'll pull in the first video, they'll link those things on the right-hand side, and then they'll grab that information that's relevant to what it is that you search, and they'll pull it into the summary and overview. And every time you search it, it's going to slightly change, but it's not like they're going to page 2 of Google or page 3. They're sticking within those like top 3 to top 5 positions, depending on what it is that you're specifically searching. And so everybody's like, how do I get up there? How do I get up there? Well, to get up into the AI overview section, you have to show up in the top 3 on Google Organic. What does that mean? Well, that means a whole plethora of things, of the 200 things that Google's SEO is searching for, with all the different factors of keyword density, meta title, quality of content, the links, the directories that you have with your site structure. All of these things play into it to get you to the top. And now, to make things a little bit more complicated, you've got Google Search and you've got Google Display, but now you're going to have Google Ads within the AI overview. Now, what it's going to look like, I don't know yet because I haven't seen it, but I have to assume that you're going to have to somewhat say that it's sponsored or say that it's an ad. I just feel like that's what Google always does, is they, like, you could tell the difference between an ad in your search results versus a non-ad. So it's going to have something in there, but what they're allowing people to do, and maybe it'll end up being like you pay differently if you want to show up in AI overview. It's a whole different platform, a whole different strategy, the questions are going to be different. The search phrases are going to be different. It's not just going to be showing up for like one search phrase and then do you want it to be broad phrase match or exact match in the search side of Google Ads? But it's going to mean that things are going to be slightly adjusting for you to show up in that overview of AI. This is something that ChatGPT is going to be doing when they release their search platform. It's like AI was originally there to just make it fast for you to get the answer to your question. And of course, they're going to try and monetize that because everybody now wants to show up at the top. So that's a great way for them to make an insane amount of money. I think that they should just make it a completely separate platform, because there still are going to be people that are like, I don't want to use the AI summary. I want to scroll down to get the ads, to get the organic results. So this doesn't mean that completely abandon SEO. It's still going to be super important because AI overview is still going to be pulling in those top 3, top 5 results. But what this means for the paid guys out there and gals is that you're going to have a new platform to understand and test and try and figure out how do you get to the top and how do you make it not look super obvious that it is an ad and make it still relevant to the search. So it's going to be a slight learning curve and some adjustments. Those that are moving fast are going to capitalize on the opportunity. As soon as those platforms are available to spend money on, shifting some of your budget into that AI overview summary, that's going to be important because that is where you're going to want to show up, and you're going to want to test it and measure it and see, are they clicking the ads? Because still to this day, you can Google search it, you can AI search it, ChatGPT, Gemini, whoever it is. What percentage of people click ads? It's still roughly, and always probably will be, at least at this point, around 30%. So around 30% of people that know that it's an ad will still click it. And then organic position number 1 gets about 25 to 30% of the clicks after that. And then from there, it just evens out to where you get to position 3, 4, 5, then you're in like the single digit percentages, like less than 5%. So you're still going to get people interacting with ads. Now it's going to be a little bit different with the AI summary and the overview. But I'm excited for it. I think it's going to blend. I mean, here in our office, SEO and paid media kind of go hand in hand because you're just talking about search engine marketing, SEM. But this is going to make those lines a little bit less clear. And those 2 different teams, 2 different departments or areas are going to have to understand that you're trying to show up for paid and you're trying to show up for organic, but now you've got a new paid platform kind of that you can play into with the AI overview summary with Gemini. I have a feeling like at some point this year, there's going to be an announcement of like the release of ChatGPT search or some type of other search platform that's using AI. Maybe it's an AI interface solely, and completely change the game. And then once that happens and people are using it at that level, then you're going to get into ad platforms on those GPTs. So it's like no different than like right now, I can't advertise on GPT's platform to say anybody searching with marketing, then that, sorry, Mason Palmer just did the whole stairs, walking down the stairs thing behind the glass. But people aren't going to, like right now, you can't advertise and say anybody searching for this or that, let me show up within their chat GPT. We have actually here gotten people that called in, emailed in, booked time with us. I said, hey, we were doing search results, we were talking to people, but we went to, I think the phrase was trusty chat GPT, Old Faithful, and went in and said, looking for us, specifically what we do. We came up in the top 3. They clicked it. We contacted us and had a conversation. So more and more people are using ChatGPT to get the answers to their questions, even when they're finding a service provider. But where does ChatGPT get its information from? Google search results, basically. And so it's super important to show up in SEO, even though Google is releasing this new ad platform. But I think this is going to be a major undertaking for most people in paid media to say, how am I going to shift and divvy up my budget that I have, whether it's 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, $1 million a month in ad spend? How am I going to break off a piece to test this AI upside? And you're going to have somewhat of a first mover's advantage. Whoever goes there first is going to understand it quicker and then probably be more efficient with their spend and get a better ROAS or return on ad spend. So that's it with the Google side. That's a massive announcement. I feel like that's a show right there that we can talk for hours about. But the third one, so ad tech platform Mountain, don't know if you ever heard of it, but they're the ones that are kind of responsible for the ads that you'll see in Hulu and other platforms, streaming platforms like that. So like basically everything on your TV, their platform manages that. So they went public and they, in the first day, made $1 billion because of that. So $1.6 billion valuation. They opened at $21, surpassing the IPO price of 16. That's huge. So what does it mean for marketers? The rise of connected TV advertising presents new opportunities for targeted, performance-driven advertising. What does all that mean? Basically, just like radio and television was like 30, 40 years ago, they're seeing like 91% of their users are small businesses. And so it's no longer just like, oh yeah, look at this commercial in my Hulu show break. And I know what you may be thinking, like, but Kyle, people will pay an extra $3 a month to not see ads. Yeah, some people do, but a lot of people don't. So platforms like this are making it more difficult for like the major news stations to really compete, because they're trying to sell ad space on their on air and live stuff, and also their apps and platforms like that. But companies like Mountain make it able and more affordable for smaller businesses and mid-market businesses to run targeted strategic advertising that is relevant to you. So think like Google Ads on YouTube's platform, but on like Hulu and connected TVs. I mean, that's essentially what it is. And so I've experienced, just as a consumer from a YouTube standpoint, right? So YouTube's playing on my TV most days at night or on the weekend, because I have smaller kids and they're watching shows and subscribe to channels, etc. And then in a break in a show, it shows an ad. Maybe it's a 30-second ad or it's a 5-second skippable ad, etc. But I've seen so much targeting with the ads that come up. It's like, who are you even trying to target? Obviously, you don't know what you're doing. But I've seen some very strategic ones. We're talking about like local to this area. Like, oh, if you're looking for this type of mechanic, you want to go to this company in Austin. Super relevant to my demographic and super relevant to my area. That's just, and then you can pay for YouTube Premium to not have those ads, which obviously we then ended up paying for, because I don't want to be skipping ads all the time. But the ad platforms on the connected TVs, that's going to make it easier for smaller companies to utilize that as a resource and utilize that as a paid media platform. That's going to be a whole different strategy. So with these two big announcements, the paid media side of things is going to shift, and it's not going to be a massive shift. It's going to be an adjustment to where you may want to consider targeting specific people. And this is going to be the hard part, is like on connected TVs. If you're not just a local business, if you're not just selling locally to a specific like region, how do you reach your target demographic of specific people? Like, can you go to like cross-reference other platforms like LinkedIn and Google and your website to say, I want to show up on this person who visited my website. I want to show up on their TV. Like, are you going to go down that path? Are you going to go down the path of just like regional or interest-based? But these are all things that have to play into factor with the rest of your 2025 strategy, especially on the Gemini side with Google AI Overview ad platforms. And then also looking into 2026, like you may be shifting or increasing your budget a little bit in 2026 with your paid media, because you're going to want to show up in those platforms because they're getting more attention. So again, it's no different than when TV ads and commercials on radio and all that stuff first came out, or even like billboards. This is basically like new things that are happening. It's been around for years, connected TVs, but now it's just new ways to advertise on it. As companies get bigger, they make it more affordable. They want to go after other markets. They want to make their market share increase, and everybody invested in their business publicly make money. So in order to do that, they're gonna have to tackle more of a TAM, or total addressable or available market. So they're gonna want to cover more market share, and by doing that, they have to change their platform slightly. So I think this is going to be something good for the smaller businesses, mid-market businesses. But the biggest announcement in May to take the cake is Google's AI Overview ad platform announcement that happened 6 days ago. If you haven't already, head over to YouTube, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you on the next one.